Listen up, gentlemen. If your mornings feel like someone turned the volume down on your life and your confidence in the bedroom followed, we need to talk. This is not about gimmicks, pills sold with empty promises, or motivational speeches. I am Dr. Daniela Reed, urologist and men's health specialist, and for over a decade, I have helped men regain consistent morning vitality using simple, evidence-informed adjustments you do at the breakfast table. Today, I want you to consider one idea that sounds almost too small to matter, but that I have seen change lives again and again, like I see with my patients. What you put into your coffee can help restore circulation, stabilize energy, and support hormonal balance, so you feel more like yourself, even into advanced age. Put this in your coffee, and erections can improve even in men well into their 80s, not as a guaranteed cure, but as a meaningful support to physiology. Before we start, tell me in the comments where you are watching from. Grab your cup because in minutes, I will walk you step by step through a routine that is practical, cheap, and grounded in clinical reasoning. Here is what is happening under the hood in plain terms. As men age, the body produces less nitric oxide, which is what opens blood vessels and allows strong blood flow into erectile tissue. Insulin fluctuations, chronic low-grade inflammation, and decreasing testosterone all conspire to reduce circulation, cause fatigue, and blunt libido. Think of your cardiovascular system like a road network, and nitric oxide as the road widening crew. If the crew slows down, lanes shrink, and traffic jams form. Coffee alone gives a short stimulant boost, then a crash, which in older men magnifies blood sugar swings and reduces steady energy. Studies from major institutions and clinical reviews suggest that dietary nitrates, flavonols, and certain adaptogens support vasodilation, improve endothelial function, and modulate stress hormones. I will explain each of those words in a sentence or two as we go. The goal is not to replace medical care, but to offer a morning protocol that helps the biology work better with what you already do. I know you're skeptical, and that is reasonable. Change is hard and habits are safe, even when they underperform. Me too. I was skeptical once, until I watched a pattern emerge across patients. Now imagine a week where your peak energy is later in the morning instead of collapsing after the first hour. Imagine being able to feel steadier focus, better mood, and a clearer path for intimacy and confidence. If any of that sounds worth a try, I want you to participate right now in one short thing. I know men worry about privacy and about whether a kitchen trick can do anything. So please comment one word, energy, focus, or libido, to tell me the symptom that bothers you most. I read these and I reply to some. Now set your mug down. Notice the steam, smell the roast, feel the ceramic warmth under your palm, and listen, because the first ingredient is simple and widely available. Ingredient 1 is true cinnamon, Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia, and a small amount added to your coffee daily can improve insulin regulation and reduce inflammatory signaling, which helps steady glucose and reduce that afternoon crash. The mechanism is partly through improving insulin sensitivity and partly through polyphenols that calm oxidative stress. Use 1/4 to 1/2 a teaspoon per cup, stir until fragrant, notice the sweet, spicy aroma, taste the warm cinnamon on your tongue, and feel the slightly slick texture as it dissolves. In clinic, I had Mark, age 85, who arrived embarrassed and tired with low confidence. He described mornings as muted color and dull sound, like radio at low battery. I asked him to try cinnamon in his coffee and to follow the full routine I will describe. Within 10 days, his morning alertness lifted. His wife, Maria, reported a change in how he held himself, and Mark reported firmer morning erections 2 to 3 times a week, which was a meaningful improvement for him. This is anecdotal, yet consistent with trials showing modest metabolic benefits and reduced inflammatory markers in older adults. For quality, choose organic Ceylon cinnamon. Avoid cassia, which has higher coumarin and is not suitable for daily high doses. If you are on blood thinners, check with your physician. Now, let us have a short exchange as if you were in my clinic, because practical dialogue helps cement steps. Dr. Daniela, what do you hope to get from changing your coffee? Mark, I want my mornings back and to feel like I can be intimate without embarrassment. Dr. Danielle, that is exactly what I hear, and we will aim for better circulation, not magical promises. Mark, how fast will I notice anything? Dr. Danielle, many men notice subtle energy shifts in a week and sexual improvements in 2 to 4 weeks. Mark, that sounds hopeful, but what if I have diabetes or take pills? Dr. Danielle, we tailor doses and always coordinate with your primary care or endocrinologist. Mark, will it change my taste for coffee? Dr. Danielle, it often makes the cup feel richer and more satisfying, and that helps reduce the temptation for multiple week refills. Mark, thanks, I'm ready to try. Dr. Danielle, good. We will move step by step and monitor response. This scene is real in tone and sensory detail. Notice the steam rising, the dull light of an early kitchen, the metallic clink of a teaspoon, and the soft voice of someone telling the truth about their body. Ingredient 2 is raw, unsweetened cacao powder. Cocoa flavonols boost nitric oxide production and support endothelial function, which translates into better vasodilation and improved blood flow. Use 1 to 2 teaspoons of high-quality cacao per cup. Mix it into the coffee so you get the bitter chocolate aroma, feel the velvety grit smooth. As you stir, taste the deeper chocolate notes combined with coffee acidity and observe the darker, richer color in your mug. Cacao also brings magnesium, which supports muscle relaxation and mood. Clinical studies report improved vascular markers and increased nitric oxide after cocoa flavanol consumption, which is the physiological target for erections and better circulation. In a follow-up visit, Tom, age 62, said that the cacao made his morning cup smell like a bakery, lifted his mood, and he noticed more sustained firmness during the day, which improved his confidence at work. Use unsweetened cacao to avoid insulin spikes and prefer products labeled high flavanol or natural fermented cacao. If you have caffeine sensitivity, reduce portion size or try decaf base. Ingredient 3 is maca root, an adaptogen used traditionally in Andean cultures to support stamina and hormonal resilience. There are yellow, red, and black maca types with subtly different effects. Black maca is often used for energy and endurance, while red maca appears more supportive for prostate health in some observational data. I typically recommend starting with 1 teaspoon of gelatinized maca powder and rotating types every few weeks. You will taste an earthy, slightly malty note, feel a faint grainy texture as it settles, see a lighter hue in the cup, and sense a gentle lifting in mood over days. Maca does not act like testosterone itself, but it modulates the HPA axis and stress resilience, which indirectly supports libido and function. In my practice, Lewis, age 49, found that adding maca reduced his morning anxiety, improved waking clarity, and, combined with cacao and cinnamon, resulted in better sexual responsiveness. If you have thyroid issues, consult your doctor because maca can interact with some treatments. Ingredient 4 is a metabolic and circulatory combo. Add a teaspoon of medium-chain triglyceride oil or melted coconut oil for quick metabolic fuel, and a slice or small thumb of grated fresh ginger for circulation. MCTs provide a clean, slightly oily mouthfeel and can increase ketone production, which some men find gives stable energy without a crush. Ginger gives warmth on the palate, a bright peppery scent, a slight tingle at the back of the throat, and improves peripheral circulation through mild vasodilation. Use MCT oil if you tolerate it for a neutral taste, or coconut oil for a bit of tropical aroma. Blend briefly with a small whisk until the surface looks silkier and the cup emits a nutty, spicy scent. This combination works synergistically with the cinnamon, cacao, and maca to create a ritual cup that feeds circulation, supports nitric oxide, and stabilizes energy across the morning. For those with coconut intolerance, you can use a small amount of avocado oil or skip the oil and use a powdered MCT alternative. Now a brief secondary scene with Nurse Anna and pharmacist Raj to show safety checks and practical sourcing. Nurse Anna, doctor, we had a patient on warfarin. How should he proceed? Raj, the pharmacy recommends Ceylon cinnamon. Monitoring INR. Nurse Anna, is there an interaction with Maca or Cacao? Raj, not significant, but monitor symptoms and blood sugar levels. Nurse Anna, and ginger? Ginger can slightly affect clotting at high doses, so caution is advised. Good. We'll document this in the chart. This exchange highlights that even natural ingredients require coordination and attention, and you should involve your health team. There are 3 tension moments I want to describe because they are common and worth preparing for. First, the moment of embarrassment when intimacy fails suddenly. The room goes quiet, the morning light seems distant, your hands feel heavy, and the mind spins blame. That crack in identity can trigger avoidance, which compounds the problem. Address this with compassion and action, not shame. Second, the moment of doubt after 1 week when you may think nothing changed. The temptation is to quit. Instead, keep a simple diary of morning strength and energy for 3 weeks so you can see trends and not be misled by single nights. Third, the medical crossroads when you are on multiple medications. That is a place to pause, consult your prescriber, and adapt the protocol. Each of these tensions involves sensation, sight, smell, sound, and touch, and emotional taste of anxiety versus relief, and they deserve practical responses, not platitudes. I want to give you exact protocols because that is what works in real life. Week 1. Cinnamon, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon daily in your coffee morning and note energy. Week 2. Add 1 teaspoon unsweetened cacao and observe mood and morning firmness. Week 3. Add 1 teaspoon gelatinized maca, rotating types weekly, and pay attention to libido and overall resilience. Week 4. Include 1 teaspoon MCT or coconut oil and 1 small grated thumb of fresh ginger, blended in for circulation support. Continue this routine for 3 to 6 weeks while tracking mornings and interactions with medications. Reassess with your provider if you have heart disease, diabetes, or are on anticoagulants. Backstory about me, so you know where I am coming from. I grew up in a small town where my grandfather brewed strong coffee every morning and carried himself with an ease I now recognize as vitality. I trained in internal medicine and later urology, spending long hours in clinics and watching patterns more than isolated events. Early in my career, I prescribed medications as the default answer, until I realized many men had modifiable lifestyle and nutritional signatures that were overlooked. A turning point came when a group of older patients who could not or would not take further pharmaceuticals asked for practical daily changes. I started to integrate simple dietary tweaks with careful monitoring and watched modest measures accumulate into meaningful improvements in circulation and confidence. Losing a mentor to cardiovascular disease taught me to focus on vascular health as central to sexual function. Today, I combine evidence from clinical reviews from major institutions with real-world observation, and I bring that to you. Before we close, let me address common concerns and alternatives. If you are insulin resistant, prefer lower sugar coffee and monitor blood glucose. If you are caffeine sensitive, try decaf as the base. If you have coconut intolerance, use avocado oil. Quality matters. Purchase organic when possible. Choose pure Ceylon cinnamon, high flavanol cacao, and reputable maca suppliers. Expect subtle changes in a week and more robust shifts after 3 to 6 weeks. Small sensory rituals like smelling the spice, feeling the warmth, hearing the milk froth, tasting the chocolate, and feeling the mug anchor the habit, which aids adherence. Now the epilogue timeline, so you know what to expect. At 1 month, you should notice more stable mornings and incremental improvement in energy and mental clarity. You may notice firmer morning tumescence and increased confidence during the day. The cup will smell and taste richer, and the ritual alone can improve mood. At 3 months, patterns become clearer. Nitric oxide pathways respond to consistent flavonol and adaptogen intake, and endothelium function often shows measurable benefits. Many men report more reliable erections during morning and nighttime, improved stamina, and a restored sense of sexual agency. Sleep often improves because less anxiety and fewer energy crashes create steadier nights. Discuss results with your clinician and consider adding supervised exercise that enhances vascular health. At 6 months, this routine becomes a sustainable habit, supporting metabolic stability, vascular resilience, and ongoing hormonal balance. Some men will experience notable restoration of function and confidence. Others will gain partial improvement that complements targeted medical therapies. Continuous monitoring, sensible testing, and working with your health team will give you the safest long-term path. Over these months, you will remember the small sensory moments, the steam, the aroma, the warmth, and the taste as part of a larger recovery, not as a miracle, but as meaningful support to the physiology that underlies erection and vitality. To recap briefly, small specific additions to your coffee, cinnamon, high flavonol cacao, maca, and MCT or coconut oil plus ginger can support circulation, nitric oxide production, and hormonal resilience. And these changes are grounded in physiological mechanisms and clinical observation. A patient in his 80s, like Mark, saw improvement in firmness and confidence when combined with medical oversight and lifestyle adjustments. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel to get more science-based practical protocols and share where you are watching from in the comments with one word, energy, focus, or libido, so I can read and reply to some. Remember, this is educational content and not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Consult your physician before making significant changes, especially if you take medications or have chronic conditions. Small changes can add up to big returns in confidence and circulation.